One, two, one, two. Yo, thank you, Jairus. Yeah, I'm over here. No, I forgot I had my mic muted. Let me see. Can y'all hear me now? Peace, Pandora. Hope all is well. Peace, Rhythm in the Dark. MJ, what's good? I hope y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, good, good. Right. We're gonna get cooking here in a minute. Okay, thank you, Brittany. Thank you, I am she. Okay, all right, good. Y'all can hear me. All right. Well, whatever time you come in on this presentation, if you will, get what you need to get. Go pee if you got to pee. Go get you something to drink. Whatever you need to do. If you need to snack on something, we're gonna take a couple minutes or seconds or whatever minutes. Get what you need to do. If you got to go pee, go on and go do that now, because we're gonna lock in for a minute and have a discussion that I think is going to be unique because it's not going to be your typical astrology forecast type of thing. You know, you got a lot of great astrologists and astrologers out there who can give you your typical 12 sign delineation. For Aquarius, this year is going to be da 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 da, and Saturn and Neptune will move into Aries in your third house of whatever, there are plenty you can get that. This ain't gonna be what that is. So I wanna don't wanna oversell and under deliver or over promise and under deliver. This won't be that. Um and this is gonna be my version of how we're just gonna address this, because that's why I titled it The Astrological and Metaphysical Energy of 2026. And we're gonna incorporate a lot of different little things. I'm getting over a little sinus thing. So, but let me say this before I get going. From now until 11:59 January 15th, I am running a 25% off special on my website, 720astrology.com. And that's a 25% off on my 2026 forecast reading. So if you want to get the outlook specific to your natal chart, specific to your energy for your 2026, then you go to 720astrology.com and you book, and you'll get 25% off of the current price for my forecast reading. And that is good until 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, January 15th, 2026. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna get going and see what's what. Let me move some stuff around here. Okay. So we're going right to the whiteboard. We ain't playing around. We're going because I wanted to do this, wanted to record this and use my boards in the garage. That didn't materialize. Too much stuff going on. And so this is how I chose to do it. We're going to do this live. Then I don't have to go back and do a whole bunch of editing and all that. So we're going to go to the whiteboard, and I'm going to try my best to not forget any of What's up, Straight Panther? Hope all is well with your good brother. Um, let's see. New whiteboard. Share this thing. Okay. So I guess the first thing we want to do, house cleaning. Let me be perfectly clear for those who may come in and watch this and who don't know how I get down. I am an astrologist. So of course, I know that the official New Year starts on March 21st. So I don't need anybody after I give all this information I put out and all this deep shit, somebody come back in the comment and be like, the real New Year, like somebody, you can always tell what people are in their journey. And I get being excited and you're learning things, but over here, you're dealing with someone who is deep in this. I don't need kindergarten information given to me. I read charts for a living. So of course I know when the sun crosses the vernal equinox. So I want to make sure I'm clear about that. Um, but I also study occultism. All right. And I live in it. So if you have 8 billion plus people who subscribe to the idea that the new year starts on 1/1, then that energetically has great significance. And you'll be an idiot to waste all your energy scouring the internet to tell people and enlighten them that this ain't the real new year. Motherfucker, we 10,000 steps ahead of that. Okay? That's ego. So we all know this is a certain level of intelligence over here. So we already know that shit. All right. But good for you that you've learned that. I got to make sure I address this because people put some wild shit in the comments, and I'm not always have the patience to be parental when it comes to social media comments, especially when motherfuckers don't talking to you when you don't even know. And I'm not trying to be on no arrogant, but goddamn, I'm at a certain level of intelligence. I don't have the patience for uh uh a numb nut to come in trying to school me. I got that patience for my children. Look, daddy, this is how you write a letter B. Oh, good job, buddy. You know, that's what you do for your children. I don't have that patience for adults trying to tell me some simple shit. But the point is, and me bringing this up, is energetically, your finances, your bills, everything is reset at January. All types of new agendas roll out on 1/1. So we would be idiots to waste our energy trying to combat it. The magician takes what is on the table and they're going to work with it. So this is opportunity to take this whatever we're basing it on. Because and let me make another point. If we're gonna be so strict on that level, then don't mention nothing about your birthday. Because your birthday is also based on a fake calendar or somebody's idea of what such and such is, right? So this is how we pick and choose, how we cherry pick. So the bottom line is you as a magician take control of the environment that is created around you. That's called magic. All right. And if there was ever a time to take advantage of whatever type of new energy, it is now because we literally have two major planets that will align in the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, just a month from now. So they fortify this whole idea of newness. Sometimes we got to get beyond trying to be right and figure out, as my grandmother used to say, you better learn how to do. That's what you better do. Learn how to do. Don't try to convince me or anybody else of your reality. Can you convince yourself of your reality? That's the shit. Don't try to convince me. Convince yourself of your reality, and then you will be a magician. And to make sure I come out the gate with that, because I'm gonna tear your head off in the comment on. They got a new feature now. You can make a video reply to somebody's. And I'm feeling I might give somebody the attention they looking for and make an ass out of them. Um. So, with that said, 2026 reduces to 226. 226 reduces to 10. Now there's a new debate that just popped up. It's on TikTok. Well, people going around here saying 10 equals 1. No, 10 is 10 because 10 is binary. Like, I'm going to try and tell you. Let me see. Let me say this. Sometimes being fly with your knowledge can make an idiot out of you. Don't get caught up in this world of information to try to be a contrarian and just to always have a contradicting viewpoint. Okay. Then you overcomplicate things, and there's enough complexity and trickery in our reality as it is. Then you want to argue over trifle little details. And I'm going to show you why 10 is always 1. Okay. There's something called theosophic addition and theosophic reduction. I'm going to show you. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That is theosophic addition. If you add those 4 digits up, they will give you 7, 2, they give you 10. All right. And then you reduce that. 1 plus 0, of course, gives you 1. Well, this system also reveals to us uh that um the this system reveals that the only real numbers are 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And see if I can remember how to lay it out. So because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10, and 10 reduces to 1, then that means that there is no 4, actually. 4 is just another variation of 1. Watch this. 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. What's this? This equals, I think it adds up to 28. 13, 18, 22, 25, 27, 28. What is 2 plus 2 reduced to? I mean, 2 plus 8. It reduces to 10. It's gone. It reduces 10. Now I'm off. Oh, man. Oh, my technology want to act up. Come on, work with me. Okay, let me try it over. 2 plus 8 equals 10, and that reduces to 1. Now, in the zodiac, why is it that house number 1, house number 4, house number 7, and house 10 are referred to as angular or cardinal? Because they are initiating. But what And that means if it initiates, then they all have the energy of my screen is not working over on. God damn it. Mm-mm. Okay. We're gonna get past this. Okay, if they all are angular or cardinal, then they have an energy of number one, which is initiating. Now, this theosophic reduction, because the fourth digit brings us back to one, it means that there is nothing beyond one, two, and three, if that makes sense. Because if once we get to six, six is just this how you do it. Six is just going to be 21. And 21 is 2 plus 1 equals 3. If I take five, five is going to, what is that? 9, 12, 11. Wait a minute. 3 and 6, 10. I did something wrong. But either way, there's not going to, you can't go beyond three. Based on the rules of numerology, is if you take two digits, you reduce them to one. And you add all these up and reduce them, they always going to come back to either one, two, or three. So every fourth number brings you back to one, which is why the zodiac has 1, 4, 7, and 10 as the angular houses, because all of them are just other expressions of one, of action, of initiation. I'm doing all this. I haven't looked at this in years, so you got to bear with me with my math. But the absolute value of why I'm bringing this up is that 10 is a one, because zero is not a digit. Zero is the magical nothing. It is everything and it is no thing all at the same time. Zero is the Ein Sof in Kabbalah. It's the storm cloud. It's the chaos. When you add it to anything, it magnifies it, but it ain't nothing at the same time. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The only reason I'm bringing this up is don't make things complicated where they don't have to be complicated. That's my absolute value of this. Okay, let's erase this. So let's just operate under the understanding that 226 reduces to one. And under that understanding, 2026 then is a cardinal initiating new start type of energy. And what sign sets the tone for all other cardinal energies in the zodiac? Aries. That's just the first one. It is the first action. And the first action is emergence. I am emerging from something. Look at the glyph. The glyph itself looks like, imagine that there's a pool, which is Pisces, and then imagine something emerges out of that pool. That is Aries. I am different from the rest of this. See me. I am emerging. Aries sets the tone for all other cardinal signs, just like Taurus sets the tone for all other fixed signs, because Taurus is Earth. All other fixed signs are mimicking the most fixed position you can be in, which is Earth. Gemini sets the tone for all mutable signs, because air is the most mutable thing you can be. See what I'm saying? So Aries sets the tone. And it just so happens that in this year, we have two major planets, one transpersonal and one outer planet, that both align in what? The sign of Aries. Further resonating with the one energy of 226, the energy of initiation, the energy of emergence, the energy of action. Okay? So Saturn, Neptune, newness, birth, initiation, emergence, and also the Kabbalistic world to come. In Kabbalah, the fourth world is called Asiya. And Asia is, let me spell it. Asia is this. It is an Ain. It is a Sheen. It is a Yud and a Hey. Now, this is significant because it adds up to 385. And what are we looking at? We're looking at frequencies. This is why Hebrew is so important, so integral to your in-depth esoteric studies because you want to know what is the frequency of my speech. What is the frequency behind my action? What's the frequency of people I'm interacting with? So Asiya, which means the world of action. Once again, my good people, which sign above all others is the epitome of action? Y'all already got it there. Aries. Peace, harmony, and home. Peace, king, high priest. Mercurial. I'm a peace harper. Um, Aries is the sign of action. So Asiya is the world of action or the world of manifestation. Now, guess what else has the same vibration as Asiya? Y'all ever heard of this word called Shekinah? Shekinah, which is cloaked in Christianity as the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is referring to the Shekinah. And the Shekinah is a sheen, a fey, and a hey. Everything is everything. And it adds up to 385. But you got to look at this because within this word is codes within codes within codes. So this word begins with a sheen. Come on, computer. Where's Ganesh? Don't put. We need to put Ganesh. We need a remover of obstacles. Okay. We need the sheen. The sheen, when you spell it out, that letter sheen, it's a sheen, it's a yud, and it's a nun. Those three letters. Now, understand what I just did. The letter sheen requires letters to spell it out. So to spell out the letter sheen, it takes a sheen, a yud, and a nun. Those three add up to 360. What is 360 reduced to, people? It reduces to 9, right? What year did we just come out of? A 9 year. 225. That's a 9. Now, where am I getting at? So the sheen, if it's 360, then that means it's a circle. 9, it's a circle. Is revolution. And then the rest of the word, Shekinah, the Fae and the Hey. No, I spelled, you know what? Jamal messed up. I spelled Shafa. That's the other word I was gonna. Hold on. Let me backtrack. Y'all backtrack. Cause I was like, that don't spell Shekinah. Y'all bear with me. I got ahead of myself, but I'm gonna come back and spell Shekinah out. This word I spelled is Shafa. Pardon me. Shafa. And cause I'm like the Fae, okay, this word right here, it still begins with the sheen, like I said. And so the last part, the Fae or the Shafa, Shafe, whenever you see this letter right here, the letter Fae, The letter Fe speaks to a mouth. Okay. And this whole word Shafah itself, it means lip, it means language, it means speech, it means the shore or the border. Very important when we have Saturn, the planet of boundaries and borders that is so prevalent in 2026 in its conjunction with Neptune in Aries. It's edge, it's a margin, it's a rim, all of that. These words coincide with Shafar. Once again, lip, language, speech, shore, border, edge, margin, rim. That's Shafar. Okay. So this has the same energetic or frequency of Asiya, which is the world to come. Look at this. This is why this is astrology and metaphysics we talking here. Is Neptune not the world to come? And is Saturn not the boundary and the border? Look at the two planets. Look at the two planets that will dance together in Aries on February 20th. And look how this is played out in how we are breaking this down. Asiya, the world to come. And Shafar is the language. So, in other words, you know when they say speak it into existence? This is literal right here. Literally, because the border is what's the border? What my eyes can see right now. What is the world to come? What I have spoken into existence. That's the world to come. Now let's get back to Shekinah, where I messed up. Shekinah, again, is what Christianity has tried to repackage as the Holy Spirit. Make sure I'm spelling this right. Shekinah. Okay. And this again begins with the sheen. This is a kaf, it's a yud, it's a nun, and a hey. Shekinah. Once again, coming out of the revelation of nine, which is the sheen, we have the calf, and the calf means a closed fist. So calf deals with grasping something. The yud means spirit. It is the smallest letter in the alphabet, but it is aside from the aleph, it is the most powerful because it is carrying the divine data, the divine knowledge in the smallest package. You can't make up any letter in the alphabet without a yud. And yud means spirit. There is no life without animation or spirit. And the nun is the fish, which is the ability to exist in water and flow. And the hey is the divine sight. Hey, lo, look there. When you see lo in scripture, that's hey, look there. And so it also means window. So look at all this, how magical just the words are, you know? So off the circle is the most powerful shape because everything exists at one time in the circle. Grasping, pulling something out of the circle, and what it is holding is spirit. And then that spirit then comes down into reality or the matrix, i.e., the fish. And then there's a realization. Lo, look, see, hey, that's the Holy Spirit coming down, the Shekinah. And it too has a value of 385. Everything is everything. I'm on, so stay with me. I'm not deviating. This is something, this is called a dreidel. So in Yiddish culture. This is played with during the Hanukkah season. Okay. Now, if you look at this, there's a sheen, there's a nun, there's a gimel, and there's a hay. Those four add up to 358, which is the reverse of not the exact reverse, but it's a scrambled, same numbers, but scrambled produce 358. Why is this significant? Because this in Hebrew is Mashiach. Mashiach adds up to 358. Also, serpent, Nakash, adds up to 358. So this is the Kundalini, which is the same as the Christ consciousness, and played with this little toy. This is how they try to seed consciousness subconsciously into their children. But my point in this is that the Christ energy is encased in the beginning was the word, the world to come, Asiya, the Shekinah, the Holy Spirit. This is what it is carrying, but it's cloaked. This is what it is carrying, but it is cloaked. Hope this makes sense. Okay. Now we've given, and it's just to backtrack. Why did I even bring up these numbers? Because we are in a moment where we are looking at the world to come, and we're looking at Neptune and Saturn, which will be conjunct in Aries, representing the world to come. And then when we go to look at the number 226, what are some things significant that we pull out of Hebrew? Now, I've already talked about a reference to the mouth, the shafah. Well, here's a word in Hebrew that adds up to 226. It's a dalet, it's a bait, it is a resh, and it is a noon. That word is Debarak, Debarak. And the root of this word is this, Dibber. Why is this so significant? This is the word for be in Hebrew. It also means word, word. So here's a correlation symbolically between the bee and what does the bee do? It has a vibration. What are we talking about? Even with Hebrew itself, the word. This is giving you the secret of why studying Hebrew is so significant. Because when you're studying the word, you are studying vibration. That's what we're doing. And we just now said that 2026 is the world will represent the world to come. And here 226 means Debarak. And this, whereas this is word and be, when we add the calf, the final calf on the end, it means thy word. It also means, let me find myself in my notes. And because it is speaking to the word, it naturally brings us back to tie in all on this side. My screen is not working. Let's see. I need a new stylus. Maybe that would help if I got a new stylus for this. Okay, let me come over here and write. Thy word. Whenever we think of a word, we're thinking of speaking, and it brings us back to this. Faith. And remember, faith means mouth. And we just looked at shafa, which means lip, and that had the value of 385. You see how these things tie in symbolically? So 226 is showing us it will bring what you have spoken. And so we understand that when I say spoken, I'm not just talking about you sitting around fat gumming or fat mouthing, just talking. A lot of people who just talk, 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 don't do shit. This is a symbolic language and a symbolic discussion we're having. I'm not talking about somebody sitting around um running a mouth. When I say word, it is a code because we just found that word is the same as be. So in other words, whatever your vibration is, that's what that means. It's going to show up in 2026. You cannot hide. You cannot hide who you are. If you're a really incredible Hulk, your clothes are going to rip. If you've been David Banner all along, trying to pretend to be Incredible Hulk, you're going to shrink back to what you really are. We're going to see what you really are. You ain't Incredible Hulk. You David Banner. Or whatever his name was. Was it David Banner? I think that was his name. But if you really have had Incredible Hulk in you, you ain't going to be able to hide it no more. Some people are going to get forced onto the grand stage of life because you are the one that we were needing to hear from. And some of these assholes who've been talking are going to get shut up, or they're going to get revealed to be phony or to not be who they have been trying to represent themselves as. Because this is revelation of your vibration in 2026. Now, here's another word. Bruce Banner. Thank you, Straight Panther. Bruce Banner. I knew I'm thinking about David Banner. Um, okay, Bruce Banner. Okay. I'll be fucking up some shit. So we got also with the vibration of 226, we have the word Safan, which is a um Zeddy. I think that's how you pronounce this letter. Zeddy. Um a Fe, a Va or Ve, and final noon. Y'all had to bear with me. My this little thing is just not it's acting up. Okay. How do you do that final none? I think it goes up. This word, Safan, pay attention. Once you learn kind of what letters mean, uh symbolically, pay attention to where they show up in a word, you know, or when they show up. So there's something here about the mouth. because the Fae is in this word. Okay. But in totality, this word Saffon means the north. It means the dark. It means hidden. It means profound. So what would that be pointing to? Things hidden, things profound. It's the occult world. Things in the dark. What is hidden? So here we see another reference to if if the barrack is what has been spoken will be, then Safan is pointing to what as hidden will come to light. This same word can also refer to a treasure. What does it say in Isaiah? I will give you the treasure of darkness. So you see this double meaning of this Safan. It's the occult, it's hidden, and it is a treasure. The treasure as in things stored, things hidden, things kept stored. We had all these outer planets that were predominantly um aside from Pluto. Pluto was the first one to move into masculine sign, into Aquarius. But for, I mean, what? At least the last 7 years, we've had outer planets. That's Uranus, um, Neptune, and Pluto have been in water or earth signs. So these huge megastructure planets have been in feminine signs. They've been in the occult. Occult is feminine. Esoteric is feminine. Hidden is feminine. And how we managed the energy while it was occulted. In other words, a mundane way to approach this is what were you doing when nobody was around to see you? What were you doing when the cameras were off? What were you doing when nobody had any, when you didn't think anybody was watching? That shows up. It comes out on front stage. And so I um I captured this from Job 37:22. Gold comes from the north. Gold comes from the north. Now, we just now went through the whole Yule ritual or Christmas, and Santa Claus comes from where? The North Pole. So even in that, coming from the North Pole, coming from the cerebral spinal fluid, coming from the land of milk and honey, coming down the chimney, and the coming down of the chimney is the Shekinah coming down. It is the manna coming down in the form of the Shekinah. So everything, all the rituals are really they're really prominent this season as far as the this is a major winter solstice. This is a major changing of the year. This is there's such prevalent energy around newness. And the newness really ain't new though. It's something old, it's something ancient. It's new as that it might be new as in people's recognition of it. But it ain't nothing new that's coming. It's something old, primordial. Where do I want to jump to next? Because I got some health stuff I want to talk about. But before I do that, I want to make sure I covered what I was looking to cover with the symbolism. And there was something else I wanted to. It was this. Let me see. Okay. Here's what well, I guess I will go to the health because it's gonna tie in when I start talking about the health stuff. Once again, as a side, just a quick interjection, commercial interjection. From now until 11:59 Central Standard Time, January 15th, I am offering 25% off my 2026 forecast reading. 720astrology.com. Okay, health wise, with this energy that is moving into Aries, there's a focus on our head and belt line slash navel areas because it's Aries. Aries is ruling predominantly the head and the brain, but nothing operates independently. Everything works on an axis, literally the way our bodies function and the way we read astrology. This is why you may have a person with a Libra sun who always looking to pick a fight because they might be picking up more of the Aries. Or you might have an Aries who might seem more passive and desiring love so much and to be in relate, they might be picking up more of the Libra side. So everything's an axis. So that's why we're including the belt line and the navel areas because that is the realm of Libra, the kidneys, but also in that area you have the adrenals, which is ruled by Aries. And the adrenals, we really, really, really gotta, and the kid, but especially the adrenals, and they sit right on the kidneys, right? Um, and I'll come back to that. But in essence, the axis of Aries and Libra, we're dealing with regulatory functions, fluid, salt, blood pressure, stress hormones, stress hormones, neurotransmitters, skin, lumbar and sacral vertebrae, heart and respiration. How? Through the medulla. Subconscious control of the heart and respiration. Possibly the most important are the medulla, um, and the regulation of stress hormones. Because we are coming out of a 14-year transit of Neptune in Pisces. And we're coming out of a 3-year transit of Saturn in Pisces. And Pisces rules over the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is one of the major waste removal processes of the body. Okay. And it also helps to strengthen the body's defense system. We're talking about white blood cells going in and identifying there's a threat. Okay, we got to go take it out. Got to take this threat out. I got to find my. Okay. So one thing we got to tap into is with the what has transpired in the last, even just the last 5 to 6 years, but take the whole last 14 years of Neptune's transit in Pisces. And our immune systems selectively have been compromised because we've been living in a milieu of clogged, congested energy. Our society has become more infectious. And I don't mean literally, I also mean spiritually, mentally. And so that means that we are subject to experiencing the outgrowths of uh, a retardation of the lymphatic system, literally and figuratively. There's a need for a purging, a need for a cleansing. So I want to show you a picture here. This is a familiar picture. I love this. This is Kali. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can bring it up so I can just leave it on the screen and we can break this down. Let me see if I can find her. I keep her, I got her on file, but it might be on another computer. I love this picture. Um, yes, I got her. I got her. I got her. Okay. Okay. Let me share. Let me share this picture. All right. Damn, this shit's slow. Okay. Can y'all see this, Kali? Y'all let me know. Can y'all see? Can y'all see her? Am I still on here? Can y'all hear me? Ah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, y'all see it now? Okay, good, good. Okay, good. Let's analyze this a little bit because I'm going to point out four energies that I think we need to tap into in 2026. And Kali is number one. Now, there is a cell salt referred to as Kali phosphoricum, and that would be potassium phosphorus, I think. Yes, potassium. I think Kali is, it is Latin for potassium. Let me double check myself. Kali phosphoricum. Yeah, potassium phosphate. Okay. Now I want to read something here. Then I'm gonna show you how I made this correlation. Um, it says homeopaths consider it to be one of the greatest nerve remedies because it is especially effective on the sympathetic nervous system. Okay. Now the sympathetic is fight controls fight or flight responses. Uniting with albumin, this salt is very helpful in creating the tissue of the brain known as the gray matter. Aries rules the brain. Deficiency symptoms. People who are constantly tense and nervous, who work too hard without adequate rest and fray their fragile nervous systems are probably deficient in the cell salt. Um, so, in other words, this cell salt, which is called polyphosphoricum, which is potassium phosphate, helps to calm the nervous system and to reduce stress responses. It helps to calm and turn off the sympathetic nervous system and to turn on the parasympathetic, which means the threat has been resolved. Now, this terrible looking picture, I want you to look at it and I want you to use your first eye to make sense of this. Look at here. Um, Hold on. What damn thing ain't? Oh, there it goes. Now, look at this. Look how gruesome that is. She has chopped off this head, right? She has vanquished these soldiers. Okay. She even got a wreath made of skulls. She got these hands. I mean, this is a terrible looking. But if you look beyond that, this picture is saying the battle has been won. The battle's over. Whatever was the threat, it has been vanquished. It's done. And so when we think about what this Kali phosphoricum is representing, or what it does for the vessel, it helps to calm the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. It's saying you don't have to fight anymore. The battle is won. Happen to this energy in 2026. The battle is won. The tongue is out. What is significant about the tongue? The tongue helps form the word. We have talked about the shafah. We have talked about the debarak, dibber, all these things around the word, and them representing the world to come. So that's first thing I wanted to show. Kalima, the battle has been won. Um, this is also calling on your courage. Where do you need to be courageous in 2026? There's a significance here around blood. We see also the snake. Now, this this could be thought of as a kundalini. It has subdued his left hand possibly representing the, although technically the left side is ruled by the right side of the brain, but maybe for the sake of just rudimentary symbolism, that it has dominated the masculine side of the nature, which is linear. Okay. But pay attention to the blood. Pay attention to the blood. And I'm about to come over here and we're going to go back to the whiteboard. Pay attention to the blood. Because Aries, that's right, Straight Panther, ego. It has subdued the ego. And so, where was I going next? The blood. In Hebrew, the word for, well, first let's start here. Aries is Mars, no, Aries, the sign that we have all of this activity in February. Saturn and Neptune. Aries rules over the brain, right? But the ruler of Aries is Mars, and Mars rules over the red blood cell portion of the blood. What is significant about the red blood cells? Um, the red blood cells attract and allow for oxygenation of the blood. They attract oxygen molecules. So in Hebrew, it seems to write better when I go down here. Let's just do that. That is the word for blood in Hebrew. And that has a value of 44. Okay. Back over here. Make sure I don't forget what I was going to say about that. Okay. So that's the blood. You remember we saw the picture of Kali and there was all that blood, the emphasis on blood, blood, blood. Well, when we take and add an aleph to Deem, we get Adim, which is Adam. All right. Now, but I want you to look at what made this word. We already had Deem, which is 44. We added an aleph, which is the value 1. So it's, although the word in totality is 45, is the value of Adim or Adam. Look at this. There's a 1 and there's a 44. We're going to get all the meat off the bone today. So 144 and 144, one of its values is the word kadim. Once again, you see the blood. Whenever you see deem, that's blood. This whole word together means the ancient of days. So when people talk about the 144, you're talking about the ancient of days, or what we refer to as the great old ones, or the primordial beings. So this variation of blood means that there's something old, something ancient being hidden or cloaked in the blood. The 144. I hope I'm making sense. I know I'm all over the place, but we got to do it this way. Now, if you reverse the 144, and I've talked about this before, what do we get? Amit. And that means the truth. Now, if we take 144 and 441 and add those and reduce, what do we get? We get a 9. We just came out of a 9 year. So the world to come is bringing forth a truth. And that truth ain't nothing new. Remember earlier, I was like, something new emerges, but it ain't new. This is what I meant. This ain't nothing new that's emerging. It's something old that is making a new emergence. Okay. Now, and and remember, we're still talking about the blood, which is why we must do things to control the vibratory or the frequency within the blood. Know this, the blood is the great and final battleground. That's where, if you're looking for a World War III, it's in the blood. That's where it's going down. That's where everything, all these things being structured and chess pieces moved around, it is to try to come down to a final showdown in the blood. Now, another thing about Adam was the Aleph. And if you know anything about the symbolism, the Aleph is the divine source hiding itself. That's what Adam means. The divine source, Aleph, hiding itself where? In the blood. Which is why Adam 45, 4 and 5 is 9. Adds up to the same thing as 144. 144 equals 9. 441, the truth, equals 9. It is the divine has hidden itself in the human condition, which leads me back to the health tip. I hope y'all getting what I'm. So that means that with Saturn in Aries, with Neptune, you got to be able to self-govern. And your self-governance will help to offset delusion. Saturn will promote self-governance. Neptune can promote delusional sight. You're seeing something, but you ain't sure what it is. Oh boy, this look like a toddler wrote this. Let me uh so you must use self-governance to prevent yourself from being harmful to self by being delusional. We must have disciplined navigation of your imagination. Discipline, of course, that's a no-brainer. That's Saturn. Imagination, that's Neptune. Your dreams, Neptune, will be supported by a mindset of endurance, Saturn. You must endure for the dream to become reality. Reality is another Saturn word. Your dreams and reality can coexist. They do coexist. You must become the bridge between them. Saturn helps you build the bridge. You must govern yourself to build that bridge. You ain't going to be able to fat mouth it. You're going to have to do the work. You should have already been doing, because really what's supposed to be happening is the work's supposed to be showing. But we got to continue to build the scaffolding, right? So that this grand vision comes into fruition. This will help to mitigate stress. Remember, I said stress is going to be one thing we got to really see. See, Saturn has you act like a victor because being disciplined around your own existence is taking the action of a winner. Losers can't display self-discipline because they don't believe in themselves enough too. Saturn secretly is about confidence. It takes confidence to bet on yourself enough to suffer on the front end because you know you got something bigger on the back end. That helps. That type of mindset will help to mitigate stress because you will be taking on the mindset that I'm taking control of my life. I'm not allowing somebody else to dictate how I move and flow. We need to make sure to um, make sure you're getting you some good bioavailable vitamins and minerals. I'm a big fan of liquid liquid vitamins and minerals, but I think here are some ones I think are going to be emphasized. Vitamin E, niacin, copper, and copper has to be in proper ratio to zinc. So if you're going to take copper, you got to make sure you always have zinc to as a companion, vice versa. Iron, B12, phosphorus, essential fatty acids. Now, iron. Now, so why am I bringing these up? Because Mars is the ruler of Aries. Wherever Saturn goes, it causes hypofunction. Saturn slows down things. So, because Aries is a Mars ruled sign, then we want to make sure that we have adequate iron because iron attracts spirit, i.e., oxygen. Iron helps to build hemoglobin and it facilitates the transport of oxygen. B12, that's also ruled by Mars. B12 helps to assimilate iron and to help to form red blood cells. So, iron, um, here you see Mars taking on the role of driving and pushing things. And here is where um, I want to mention this deity, Kartakia. He's part of the Hindu pantheon, part of the Hindu pantheon. This is Kartakia. Okay. Now notice he has a peacock beside him. So what I do is I use all of my studies to give me my own little insight into how to decode things that we don't necessarily have read data ready to just explain things out for us. So there's not a whole lot of info on Carter. But why does he have a peacock? I use that as a major clue because the cock is where we get our term coccyx bone, which is at the base of the spine. And the coccyx bone looks like this spear upside down. If you go and look at your coccyx bone. So because of proximity, it takes on a definite um, Mars influence because we're talking about the what we call the lower chakra and the root chakra, and we're talking about the area of reproduction, the area where the Kundalini snake sits, the base, which we saw that in the picture of uh hold on, you say yeah. I can't see it. We are not seeing. Huh. Okay, let me. So y'all can't see me. Uh, Mic check. Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2. I can see it. Your audio is breaking up. Okay, I am she says all clear for me. Okay, you can hear me and see me. I am she. Okay, thank you, Harbor. Okay. All right, thank y'all. Okay. So and my this is lagging behind me, the transition from whiteboard to because I turned the whiteboard off. I'm just gonna read this. So again, I said iron, B12, phosphorus. Um, Now, one thing I want to say about phosphorus, it's essential for the production and metabolism of calcium and vitamin D. Now, that's significant because calcium is going to support your bone health, but also it's going to help with maintaining the proper rhythm of your heartbeat. And of course, you need vitamin D for the assimilation of calcium. But then both of those depend on phosphorus. Essential fatty acids are going to help with inflammation to help you be more anti inflammatory, which is one way to prevent being sick and having chronic illness. Again, I'm highlighting these because they are ruled by Mars. Now, the other ones I'm going to highlight are ruled by Venus because whenever we're talking about Aries, it naturally is going to bring in Libra into the picture. And Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus rules over vitamin E. Vitamin E, tissue building and support, vein health, support of the capillaries. Vitamin E, and here's a sidebar about Venus being the planet of relationship. Well, Venus helps to link the veins and the arteries and facilitate the exchange of oxygen. Look at the linking. It creates a relationship. Venus also rules over copper, and copper deals with attraction, especially when it comes to an electric circuit. So look how the attributes of the planet we see them play out in the medical astrology, which is why I'm going to offer my intro to astrology course coming up, but it will be medical astrology. In other words, I think medical astrology, learning that is one of the greatest ways to learn astrology because you will see the nature of the planet represented in how it expresses in the body and in micronutrients. So Hopper, ruled by Venus, helps in the Formation of healthy red blood cells. Well, who are the lovers? It's Venus and Mars. Who rules over red blood cells? Mars. But who helps to form the red blood cells? It's Venus. So Venus gives birth to the masculine and then attracts it back to her. I mean, it's all some deep symbolism. The genius minds that set and compile this. Um, Niacin helps, also ruled by Venus, helps with sugar metabolism, proper function of the nervous system and brain. It's a vasodilator. A vasodilator means it opens the way. So here's a third deity or energy we want to look into. Vasodilator. Anubis, the opener of the way. Can y'all see that? Yeah, Harper, that's right. Intravenous, that's right. Straight up Venus. Okay, can y'all see that? That's Anubis, the opener of the way. I would relate that to the vasodilating properties. And then also associated with vitamin E because it links the veins and the arteries. Well, the benefic planets in astrology are Venus and Jupiter. Jupiter rules over the arteries, Venus rules over the veins. With abundance and is considered to be benefic. Hold on, let me grab it. Kali, Lakshmi, Anubis. Okay. My can y'all still hear me? I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it looked like my screen was frozen for a minute. Am I still live? Somebody let me know, please, if I'm still. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, hello. Is anybody there? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, good, good. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So here are just a recap. Artakia, deity one. The battle has been won. And the ego has been subdued. This is especially important because what is the purpose of Pisces? Pisces is about the destruction of the ego because everything gets dissolved. The battle is won. The negative influences of the ego have been subdued, have been overpowered. Then we have Kartakia, which is power root. This is divine consciousness rising up. This is stability. This is protection. This is warrior energy. This is courage. This is bowing my back where I need to. This is Lakshmi. This is attracting what I need to pull towards me. This is the realization that beauty still does exist, that in the midst of chaos, beauty exists in the chaos. This is Anubis, opener of the way. And all of these are aligning with what we are talking about. This energy of 2026. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm forgetting? I'm going to make sure. Let me make sure I ain't forgetting nothing that I wanted to cover. Uh, Final thing. Yes. Oh, I'm glad I. Final thing. Press this dude. Yes. I would have been pissed if I forgot this. Here's the final thing I want to show you about 2026. And you know how we get down. We take liberty to interpret things how we interpret it. 226. Again, let's add the zero in. Because what I want to do is let's take the 26 and let's take the 2. The 26 is the very well-known tetragrammaton. Yud, Hey, Vehe, or Vahe, whatever. Okay. Which is Jehovah. Okay. Or Yehovah. And remember, I broke down another one of the videos. When you see that Hova, that's Chava, this denotes something feminine. Now, 2 in Hebrew is the letter Beit. And Beit means house. And if you put those 2 together, the house of God. You see what I just did? Beit equals 2, and Jehovah is 26. So if I just take them independently, 2 as the house and 26 as God, the house of God. This then points to this. This is called the tabernacle or the Mishkan. See, this is little things I had my children build this. And see, because this is magic. Just the time put into crafting something like this. That brings this thing, it activates the power. If you have the consciousness to know what this symbolizes, and you took the time to put in to build and craft something, that's magic. Okay. So this Mishkan or tabernacle It represents, it says, build me a place for my spirit to dwell. This is while they are in the wilderness. Now, when you take this word, Mishkan, that's a meme. It should be a sheen and a calf and a final nun. This adds up to 3, 4, 10. Okay. There was something I had found about that 14 I wanted to highlight, but I can't think of it right now. But either way, this is my ultimate point. My ultimate point is this: protect your home. Your house is the most valuable. Oh, okay, my bad. Show that on the big screen. You talking about the Michigan, the tabernacle? Okay, let me do that. I'll do that. Okay. Damn, I just knocked my books over. So my point with highlighting the tabernacle is that if the directive is to build me a place to receive my spirit, this symbolically is talking about the human vessel, the human condition is the place to receive the spirit of the divine source in the wilderness. The wilderness represents humanity. So the Mishkan also represents the Aleph. It is the place to receive the power or the Shekinah, the power of God. At the same time, the Mishkan or the tabernacle is the most vulnerable place there is as well. It is the most powerful and it is the most vulnerable. You be careful who you let in your Mishkan or your tabernacle in 2026. You be more careful than ever before. For the woman, her womb is the most powerful place. It is also her most vulnerable. You be careful who you let in and out of it because that energy is hard to get rid of. For the man, you make sure you ain't no pathogen out here, an infestation infecting somebody's tabernacle. That's just on that overall level. Your home is your sacred place. You guard it vehemently. And you also need to make it a vessel to receive the divine energy or the fire, the sacred fire. It can burn in there. And if you got too much clutter, it's going to interrupt it, might put the fire out, extinguish it. And so that also refers to your human vessel. And the fire of the divine source burns in your blood. You protect your blood at all costs. There are a lot of low vibration beings, and with Neptune in Aries, you got to be extra careful because what is Neptune? It fuses everything. And what is Aries? It is my body. It's my interaction with the rest of the world is my Aries. Aries rules the first house. So you got to be careful about who you put yourself around, who you allow in your space. For real, for real. I just learned a valuable, harsh lesson about that. And I think that's all I got. This is not, of course, the totality, an attempt to be the totality of 2026. It's just Jamal's opening volley. We're going to be talking about 2026 throughout 2026. But if you are looking specifically for you and what type of experiences you may be looking towards in 2026, go to my website, 720astrology.com, and you book you a 2026 forecast reading. And from now until 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, those readings are 25% off. There is um, a lot of things coming out in 2026. I'm bringing a lot of things out. A lot of stuff I've been talking about 2025, been working on, and I wanted to do them, and it wasn't the time. Well, the time has come. The time has come. We're doing wearable magic, you know. So stay tuned for the drip. We're talking real magic. We're putting it on us, right? So we got a whole lot of stuff coming. I don't know if I can show you. You can't see it. You can't see it. That'll come later. Let you see some of the gadgets I got in here. But I thank everybody for tuning in. Brand new year to you all. We know, of course, that March 21st is, the official crossing of the sun of the vernal equinox, but we're going to capture this energy right now based on what has been set up in our environment, and we're going to maximize it. And we will see big things, grand things, amazing things happen in this next 12-month calendar. And I'll be here to do what I've been doing, but I plan on doing it even at a greater level. So, as always, know the stars to know yourself. And for damn sure, stay down till you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Jamal Robinson, 720astrology.com. Peace.